So guys, so today I'm gonna talk to you about how to get these fucking boulder shoulders, man. Shoulders are super important on a physique. Um, you see all these like little skinny dudes, like these underwear models and stuff like that. And yeah, they have abs just because they're skinny. But to me, man, the number one most masculine thing on a male physique is the shoulders, man, because that's your width. That's how wide you are. If you're a dude, even if you genetically have narrow clavicles or whatever, you can still build them up to a really good size. In fact, shoulders used to be a really weak body part for me. I had no shoulders whatsoever. So I actually had to learn how to work really hard to bring out my shoulders. Um, so yeah, so like I feel like those dudes that like I don't know those pretty boy, I don't like those pretty boy physiques because they look too feminine to me. They're too like they look like delicate, like you can just break them in half, dude. Because like they're not wide at the top. And see, when you're wide at the top, when you have these big wide shoulders and they're coming at you 3D, it makes everything else look smaller. So it'll make your waist look smaller. If you're a dude that has wider hip bones, you don't have small joints. If you have bigger joints, you get your shoulders on point. It'll bring you to that nice little V taper that you want. So by having that illusion, it's going to make your shoulders look bigger for one. Bigger shoulders are going to make your shoulders look bigger, but it's also going to make your waist look smaller, which is what everybody wants. So the most important tips that I can give you on building really nice big shoulders, round shoulders, is you got to hit them from every single angle, guys. Every single angle. First of all, this is what I always do when I start with shoulders. I start off with one very heavy compound pressing movement. So I either do a military press with the bar, or I'll do a very heavy shoulder dumbbell press. Sometimes with the bar, I started off with this, guys. A standard military press is, like a couple inches in front of you. I also mix in behind the neck presses on Smith machine. I love that. But actually what I started to do before I became strong enough to even lift the bar over my head, guys. I remember the first time I did military press, I couldn't even military press the 45-pound bar. What I had to do, and was actually really try this. What really builds up your delts is I'll get the 45-pound bar. Now I'm a lot stronger, obviously, so I can load a lot more weight on it. And then I'll bring it, I'll have it directly over my head, and I'll bring it down 90 degrees to where it barely touches the top of my head, and then I'll go up. So that range of motion is really short. So I'm just hitting my deltoid. Like, because I shortened the range of motion, there's no rest at the top because I'm not fully extending. There's no rest at the bottom because I'm not coming down all the way. It's just a very slight, small 90-degree push. So I can load up actually a lot of weight. Like, I could load up 20 to even 50 pounds actually heavier than what I can military press, and that's what makes my military press a lot stronger. So I always open with that very heavy compound movement. You're not going to build big shoulders without that. That's so essential. Then I proceed to hitting each head of my deltoid. So you got 3 different heads. If you want to break it down real simple, you have the front, obviously right here in the front. You have the rear head. And then you have the lateral head, which is on the side. So you need all 3 to give it that nice 3D effect. I'm on really low carbs right now, so it's not going to pop out at you. But trust me, tomorrow's my high carb day, but it's going to pop out at your ass. But to get that big 3D effect, see right there? That's the final touch right there, guys, is the rear head. If you're not hitting the rear head, you're not going to get that full cap effect. And it's not going to be 3D. It's not going to come out at you. So I'll proceed to hit all 3 heads. So generally right after my very heavy press movement, I go into a very heavy lateral movement. So I'm either, I just always do side laterals. I like them better than the machine. If you're weak at this movement, begin at the machine. Start with the machine because it's going to lock you in the correct position. But I'll go a very heavy lateral movement with the dumbbells, and I'll either switch it. I'll either be standing or seated. A lot of times I like to do it seated because it doesn't it's harder for me to rock forward and cheat. And remember, guys, if you're gonna cheat, you only cheat to make it harder. You don't cheat to make it easier. So it's really important to note when you're coming up on those lateral movements, you want to pretend like you have 2 pitchers of water. I got this from Rich Gaspari, and it really, really works, guys, with your hand movement. As you're coming up, you pretending that you're having 2 pitchers of water, and you're going to pour out that water. So as you're coming up, if you can see with the hand, you're coming up, you're kind of twisting slightly like you're going to pour out that glass of water. And then that's what's going to put all the pressure on your lateral head. A lot of times, guys, too, I do use bad form on this, but not for the sake of using bad form. I'll go really, really heavy. Like, I'll have like 60-pound dumbbells, and I'll swing on these. But just because if you're going to have perfect movement on a side lateral, you're not going to get too far above 30 pounds. And for a natural bodybuilder, if you really want to have big, nice, round muscles, you got to lift heavy. You got to induce muscular hypertrophy. You can't just go for 1,000,000 reps with 20 pounds. After a while, your shoulders are going to stop growing. So actually what I do is even if I'm seated or standing, I'll get dumbbells that are just way too heavy for me to move, and I'll swing, and I'll use the momentum, but at the same time, I'm still using my lateral or medial head of my deltoid to get that weight up, just to add a little bit more thickness. And I feel like by doing, people always looked at me weird in the gym doing this, like fucking laughing or what the fuck, this dude's form sucks. But I'm not just doing it just to do it. I'm doing it for a purpose. So that's what I do. So I'll mix in high reps, and then I'll do those very heavy swinging ones at the end. Then I'll go to my front, for my front head. There's 2 exercises that I really, really like to develop the front head of my shoulder. You hit that a lot in chest or any sort of pushing movement, but I also just like to hit it individually as well. There's 2 things. I'll do front raises, but hammer front raises with the dumbbells. So instead of having doing front raises like this with my hand twisted like that, I actually have it in a hammer position and come out, and I feel like that really hits. When I come up, that really hits my front deltoid a lot better. And then I also do reverse the reverse front raises with a barbell. So I'll put like 5 pounds, 10 pounds at the heaviest on a 45-pound, Olympic bar. Have my arms slightly bent at the elbows, and then come up. It's a front raise like that. So come up like that, and then that hits your front delt. And then always, guys, you always gotta. Generally, I finish with the rear, doing the exercise for the rear head. And what I'll do, that probably the best overall exercise that I like is you just get on the pec deck reverse with your chest on the backrest, and then come out. And remember, guys, the negative portion is just as important as the positive portion. What I mean by that is when this is for any exercise, but especially for your rear delts, because I see a lot of guys on the pec deck machine, they go like like they're just like jerking. But what you want to do is you come back, squeeze, contract, and then that negative portion of the rep, that's the second half of the rep. You want to fight the weight on the way back. You want to feel constant tension through every single repetition. So that's what I do. If there's not that at your gym, then I'll just do bent over lateral the bent over side laterals, because that's really good for hitting your rear delts as well. But it does leave a little bit more room for error because it's a free weight, so you tend to swing on those a little bit more. So that's the number 1 tip, guys. The 2 walkaway points from this video is, number 1, you want to open with a really heavy pressing movement, a compound pressing movement, whether it's with dumbbells, the Smith machine, or a military press. And then you want to always be sure to hit every side of your shoulder. You got to go front, rear, and the medial head. So if you have any question, guys, hit me up on Facebook. I don't understand. The new commenting system on YouTube is hella crazy. So hopefully I'm going to get that one under control. You have to make like a Google Plus thing or something crazy. I don't know why they changed it. But until then, if you have any questions, hit me up on Facebook. Link is in the description box. And until next time, guys, from the block to the top, I'll see you at the gym.